The COVID-19 containment measures have been relaxed even further, but it's still important for us to continue personal protection practices to safeguard our health from this deadly disease. I'm talking about wearing your mask in public spaces, washing or sanitizing your hands frequently, maintaining physical distance from others, and getting vaccinated. You're watching Jamaica Magazine, and I'm Adrian Atkinson. I'll be your host for the next 30 minutes. On today's show, we teach you how to compost, explain who is a spouse, and talk matters of finance. Stay with us.
What a way you're full of our roots and culture. That was in Jamaica 60. Jamaica 60? What a piece of news, Miss Matty. I feel like my heart going bust up.
Just in, the island of Jamaica is on the verge of celebrating its 60th year of independence.
A whole way of celebrating it. They say the people them come here, you know. But you see, when our people decide, say the other people them free paper, burn up, them say if it's war, start it, whatever. We all collect medal, panta,
The celebrations are slated to begin on January 1st, 2022. Organized by the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. We have more in this report.
I am on site and planning activities are ablaze. Persons are advised to download the Reggae Jamaica app to know what it pre. Activities for the Jamaica 60 celebration.
I forgot to download the app to get the updates then.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, March 3, 2022. 20 Jamaican students who had been studying in the Ukraine when Russia launched an invasion against that country are now back on home soil. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade arranged the students' journey from the Ukraine capital of Kyiv into the western city of Lviv and from there into Poland and then Germany before they safely landed at the Sangster International Airport Wednesday evening. They were greeted by government officials led by the Foreign Affairs Minister of State Leslie Campbell, who assured them that support would be provided to ensure they can continue their education.
Whatever assistance that the state can provide, that will be provided, and there are some. I know the Prime Minister, because I saw the account. The Prime Minister made a contribution of 1.8 million Jamaican dollars, which has gone into a special account, and where that can. And I know the leader of the opposition. So those funds are coming in, and other private donors will be making contributions, and so that in making your decision thereafter, whether you are going to go to a local university or wherever, some provision will be made. But we are just really happy to see all of you home and that you're safe.
He also assured the students that facilities were being put in place to help them deal with the trauma they would have suffered from the experience.
And let me hope that you will make use of it, because believe me, it's not going to be easy. It's going to take some time for you to resolve all the issues which are which you have to contend with. But the good thing is that you have some support.
The students arrived on a Eurowings flight from Frankfurt at the Sangster International Airport. Arrangements were made to expedite their way through the usual immigration and customs procedures, as well as transportation from the airport. Foreign Affairs Minister Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith has said the government is underwriting the cost of the students' return. They were provided with welcome home gift packages in a brief ceremony in the airport VIP lounge. JIS News spoke with two of the students who recounted the harrowing experience and expressed their joy to be back home in Jamaica.
The experience, it was horrible. I don't know what exactly happened, but I know that it was something bad that happened. I feel very safe to be at home now. I feel very happy. As soon as we crossed the Poland border, that was just a sigh of relief that we were somewhere safe, because over in the Ukrainian side, it was like, I know that no second of our life is guaranteed, but while we were there, it dawned on us that we could just die at any moment. So I'm very grateful to be here right now.
As everyone knows, that I was the one that fell ill. I don't know what happened after that because I was being treated, thank God for my friends and Jamaicans that were there trying to help me through all the way. We're just really happy that we're home. We're happy that we're home.
The Ministry of Education and Youth has provided schools with guidelines for the full resumption of face-to-face learning effective Monday, March 7. In a bulletin issued to school administrators, the Education Ministry reminded that all institutions must be approved by the Ministry of Health and Wellness for in-person classes. To aid in their preparation, additional funds are being dispersed for sanitization and the procurement of furniture where needed. In addition, documentation is being prepared to ensure the timely payment of the fourth tranche of funding grants due in April. The ministry says the 3 to 6 feet physical distancing condition has been relaxed, which means that classroom seating can be arranged to reflect the usual spacing of desks and chairs that maintained prior to COVID-19 restrictions. However, schools are to ensure there is increased vigilance and monitoring of the students for mask wearing, temperature checks, and any signs of illness. Staff must be deployed to clean and disinfect or sanitize classrooms and other facilities prior to the resumption of school and according to a daily routine while school is in operation. All persons who enter the school grounds each day should have their temperature taken. Administrators are required to prepare a space and use the protocols to isolate and treat students and staff who may become ill or show symptoms of the virus. In addition, wash stations must be installed in strategic locations, and staff, parents, and students should be resensitized about the safety protocols. In addition, schools are advised to organize blitzes to ensure full vaccination of all stakeholders. Where necessary, timetables are to be modified to ensure that teachers are appropriately deployed to attend to the students. Psychosocial sessions must also be planned for all students and teachers to enable them to cope with the ongoing pandemic. In other education news, a recent World Bank study has concluded that education spending at the early childhood and primary education levels in Jamaica directly reaches the poor and is generally aimed at reducing poverty. World Bank Human Development Program leader for the Caribbean, Timothy Johnston, detailed elements of the review recently.
And in general, if you look at how pro-poor spending is, the government spending on preschool and pre-primary education or primary education generally benefits the more poor families.
He says there is still, however, an opportunity to improve the quality of early childhood education to include reallocating an estimated $3.7 billion in spending to this sector in the long term. The World Bank Human Development Program leader says the fiscal impact of this action would be neutral, while the result is critical for improving overall education outcomes. The findings came out in the Public Expenditure Review of Jamaica's Education Sector Study, which was undertaken by the World Bank and UNICEF to analyze the adequacy, efficiency, and equity of public spending on education. And finally, the issuing of ID cards under the National Identification System, NIDS, will begin through a pilot program to be undertaken in Kingston and St. Andrew. Minister without portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister, Floyd Green, says the exercise is expected to start early in the second half of this year. He was speaking during Tuesday's meeting of the Standing Finance Committee of the House of Representatives, which is reviewing the 2022-2023 estimates of expenditure. The minister says enrollment sites will be established at post offices in collaboration with the Post and Telecommunications Department to maximize existing resources.
So we will be setting up enrollment centers across some of those spaces in Kingston and St. Andrew and start with that initial rollout so that we can, zone in on the process. People will actually go to the centers, bring some of their foundation documents and be enrolled, get their cards. And once we have finalized that, looking at the process, then we will roll out island-wide. And we expect towards the end, going into early next year, we will have that island-wide rollout.
Minister Green says the Office of the Prime Minister, under which NIDS falls, will also be partnering with the Registrar General's Department and the Electoral Office of Jamaica on the full rollout of ID cards across the island. NIDS will provide a comprehensive and secure structure to enable the collection and storage of identity information on all Jamaican nationals. It will verify an individual's identity, facilitate the electronic signing of documents, and allow persons to securely access a range of government services online. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
To properly carry out a hand rub, apply a palmful of the product in your cupped hand, covering all surfaces. Rub your hands palm to palm. Rub your right palm over the back of your left hand with interlaced fingers and vice versa. Rub your hands palm to palm with fingers interlaced. Rub the back of your fingers to opposing palms with fingers interlocked. Rotationally rub backwards and forwards the clasped fingers of your right hand in your left palm and vice versa. Once your hands are dry, they are now safe.
We are being encouraged to grow what we eat, and one of the ways to be successful at this is to have fertile soil. Composting is an economical way of getting this type of soil. Check out the process.
Compost is one of the richest form of soil nutrient. So here we are buying fertilizer for huge sums of money, when in fact we are throwing away something which is richer in many regards than what we are buying, spending hard cash for. We, from time to time, do what we call garbage characterization survey. This is where we actually go island-wide and take samples of the garbage and look at what make up the garbage. All the surveys that are done in recent past points to one particular set of dynamic. The compostables are always the highest. 67% in some survey, 65% in some. We eat vegetables. We do ground provisions, the peelings from those. We use cardboards, newspapers, lots of stuff that can be broken down and can be put to good use. With such a high percentage of the solid waste being compostable, we are therefore forced to look at how we're going to manage in the best way possible, in the most efficient way possible, that high percentage of the garbage.
Composting is a rich form of soil that is broken down by microorganisms to become either fertilizer or soil. Now we're going to do a demonstration to show you how we can do it. First, if we're starting, this is our kitchen waste. So if you're starting a compost bin at home, you need to get your kitchen peel, your banana, your lettuce, your cabbage, your tomatoes, and you cut them in finer particles. It will make it break down much faster. In order for the microorganism to work effectively, you need moisture, you need air, and you need heat. You can use a hand shovel or your hands. Too much moisture will allow the stuff to rot and it won't be compost. And if it is too dry, the microorganisms won't be able to work effectively. So you need to get a right mixture. If you squeeze it with a fist, you shouldn't have any water running out of it. If it's dripping, it is okay. If it is running out of it, that means you have too much water. So now this is our compost. If you keep this moisture in your compost, it will give you a maturity rate of 3.5 months. And you'll get this final product, which is this right here. Compost, what it does, the longer it stays into the ground, is the richer it becomes. We're going to demonstrate how we use our compost for potting. We're going to pot a few plants using our compost. This plant is called spider fern. It is an indoor plant that does like a fair amount of water. It likes a light mixture. The composting can be used for indoor and outdoor plants. This plant is called a bougainvillea. It is an outdoor plant. It likes a lot of sunlight. It blooms a lot, and it likes dry areas. The compost is offer drainage. It doesn't keep the water too long. This is now 6 weeks old, and this is 3 weeks after being planted as a seedling using our compost. And this bougainvillea is 6 weeks after being planted by our compost, and they're just blooming, blooming, blooming. This is a mature spider fern that we use for our rentals, and this is about 2.5 months old.
At the NSWMA, the parks that we manage, the beautiful flowers that you see there, the composting that is used to fertilize these plants are actually done within the department here at Parks and Gardens.
The other benefit is that we at the NSWMA, we would need less trucks. Now, right now, our biggest problem is trucks to remove garbage. Can you imagine if we could take out the 67%, which we could convert at source? What that would do to our national budget? Gas oil, repairs of trucks, labor to work on the trucks. Just look at it. It is huge savings that could come. Exponential is about getting a behavioral change at source that will see significant reduction in solid waste. We want to see this reduction and to see it in a very tangible way. And we believe that composting provides that excellent opportunity.
Let's head over to the Administrator General's Department to understand the definition of a spouse and what he or she is entitled to in the event of a death without a will.
Anna, why are you knocking down my door? What is it?
Jackie, I don't know what to do. From Jason dead, I have nothing to give to the children and I don't know where to turn.
So why you didn't go down to the Administrator General's department, the place I told you about the other day?
Lord Jackie, I know you try to help me, you know, but remember say me and Jason never did marry, you know.
What do you mean by that, Anna? The law say if a single man and a single woman live together as husband and wife for 5 years and more immediately before death, then he or she is considered a spouse.
Really? That mean me can't get something then? Cause boy, it rough, you know.
Yes, man, just go down there, tell them about the case, that Jason died leaving no will, house and children under 18 years. Go down there and see what them can do for you.
A true you talking, Jackie. Where you say the place there again?
Down a waterfront, man. 12 Ocean Boulevard. Go down there, talk to them and see if them can help you.
Okay, I'm going down there right now.
Good morning, madam. How are you?
Good morning, miss. I hear that the Administrator General's department can help me. You see, my children, them father died, leaving me with the 2 pitney them, and I'm me alone I care for them. Did he leave a will? Will, ma'am. After Jason never ready for dead, I come from work and drop down dead. My friend tell me say under the law I'm considered a spouse. By the way, who is a spouse?
Under the Interstates, Estates and Property Charges Act, a spouse is a single man and woman living together as husband and wife for 5 years or more. By living together, the two persons should not have been separated at any time during the 5 years immediately before death. A surviving spouse includes a person who is legally married. That is, he or she went in front of a pastor and took the vow of marriage. If Anna meets the requirements, she can hire an attorney at law or go to the legal aid clinic to apply for an order from the court declaring that she's a spouse. Some of the questions the court will look at are: did Anna and Jason break up during the 5 years? Did Jason have any children born in the same year as Anna's children? The court will also want to know if Anna or Jason were married before and not divorced. Once the order has been granted, the spouse would be entitled to benefit from the estate of the deceased. For further information, you can visit the Administrator General's Department in Kingston, 3rd floor at the Office Center Building, 12 Ocean Boulevard, or call us at 922-183023. You can also visit our Western office at the 2nd floor of the National Housing Trust Building at 42B Union Street, Montego Bay, St. James. Telephone 630-4261. Our website is at www.agd.gov.jm. That's the Administrator General's Department, securing your legacy.
The Ministry of Finance continues to inform individuals and business operators about the policies and programs that will allow them to make wise financial decisions. Let's tune in to today's conversation.
$3 billion have been budgeted to support micro, small, and medium businesses, MSMEs, through the DBJ Serve program. The DBJ Serve program acts as a catalyst for the recovery of local economic activity by assisting businesses that have been adversely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Hello, I'm Daniel Pasley, and welcome to Finance Matters. Today, I'll be speaking to Mr. Edison Galbraith, General Manager for Channels, Relationships, and Marketing at the Development Bank of Jamaica. And he'll tell us more about the DBJ Serve program and how Jamaican businesses can benefit. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow the ministry on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to see all the episodes and highlights. Welcome, Mr. Galbraith.
Thank you for having me.
Now, let's get right into it. What is the DBJ Serve program?
So just as you said it, the DBJ Serve program is a very innovative program that is here to re-stimulate all our SMEs across Jamaica. We have $3 billion available to small businesses for recovery as well as to help them go digital.
So what are some of the various options under the program?
So the first option we have is our MSME recovery loan. And this loan, small businesses can get anywhere up to $10 million to repay over 8 years at an incredible interest rate of 5%.
Just 5%?
5%. And that is to the end user, the small business. The funding can be used for working capital, it can be used for construction, to purchase equipment, but very importantly, they're able to use this funding for refinancing of high interest cost debts, including overdrafts and credit cards.
Now, when you talk about overdrafts, what do you mean by that?
So what we found over the period is that a lot of businesses, because their cash flows have been negatively affected, they've had to borrow, they've had to draw down on facilities with their bankers. They've taken out business credit cards and used it for business expenses. So what we're doing is giving them a lifeline at this point in time. So if they have those kind of debts that are burdening them, we're giving them this 5% loan with 8 years to repay that will just reduce the debt service burden or the cost of servicing their debts and give them a lifeline at this point in time.
And the other options are?
So we also have found that, and even before COVID, Jamaican businesses have been lagging as far as going digital is concerned.
Yeah.
There is just so much productivity that they can get from that. So our second product is our DBJ Go Digital Loan. We have $1 billion lined up where small businesses can access up to $800,000 at an incredible interest rate of 2%.
So moving from 5% to 2%.
Yes, to 2%, because going digital is so important. It can be simple things like getting a website, to more complex things like getting inventory management systems or payroll systems or e-commerce, so that they're able to buy and sell and trade with their customers electronically online. So a lot of businesses are closed because customers are not able to come in.
Right.
So it allows you to take off the mask from your business and show your face again.
And I think there's one more option.
The third product that we have is also the Go Digital Voucher. So you heard about a 5% loan, you heard about a 2% loan.
Yes.
Now we have a $300,000 grant, which is free money. You get this money and you don't have to pay it back. It can be used to access all of these services and products that can help your business go digital. The only thing it doesn't pay for is hardware, like computers and servers. But all the software, licenses, any services that
the $300,000 go towards that.
The $300,000 grant goes towards that.
Now, who qualifies to get these various options?
Very good question. So the Go Digital Voucher is available to any small business with revenues not exceeding or sales not exceeding $75 million a year. And they're able to go online to our website, dbjserve.com.
dbjserve.com.
dbjserve.com, which will take them to where they're able to register and apply for that entirely online. That process is totally online again. So DBJ is also gone digital.
Now, how can persons access more information about all these options?
So right now we're on social media. All our channels are out there on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We have our dedicated website with all the information you could ever need.
And that's
dbjserve.com.
All right. So that's dbjserve.com to get all your information. So I hope that everyone is taking their notes. Thank you, Mr. Galbraith, for coming on the program and sharing a wealth of information about the DBJ Serve program.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining us on another edition of Finance Matters. Remember to follow us on social media at MOF Jamaica and tune in next week as we continue to demystify the economic and fiscal policies and initiatives implemented by the government to empower Jamaicans as we chart a path to Jamaica's economic prosperity.
This is where our journey ends, but only for today. Do join us again tomorrow when we'll bring another informative program. In the meantime, stay connected via our website, jis.gov.jm. And while you're online, send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or via tweet at JIS News. You may also find us on all the major social media platforms and through our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.